Okay, gang, I guess I didn't hit record, so here we go again. This is the last video. I think it's 7 or 8, I'm not sure. This is the function 1 minus cosine of x over 3. This is my standard table. This is the table I'm going to create. So we're taking this graph, we're moving it up 1 unit, we're reflecting it over the x-axis, and the b value is 1/3, which means that it's a horizontal stretch of 3 times the original width. All right, let's get rolling. So it's got a d value, an a value of -1, and a b value of 1/3. Let's start with the figuring out the range. So the cosine itself is going to output these values, and you have to do 1 and subtract. So here I go. I'm going to do 1 minus, that's this part here, 1 minus what the cosine is going to output, which is a 1. So this first value is 0. Then it's 1 minus what the cosine is going to output, which is a 0. So this next value is a 1. Okay, then it's 1 minus a -1. So this value is a 2. 1 minus a 0, so we're at a 1. 1 minus a 1, so we're at a 0. Okay, that is the range. These are the new range values. For the other values, we have to, for the domain now, we have to do the calculations. So again, the period is 2 pi over b. B in this case we said was 1/3 because you're doing 1/3 times x. So it's 2 pi over 1/3, which flips it up to be 6 pi. The formula for the increment is the period over 4. So it's 6 pi over 4, which is 3 pi over 2. That is the jumps between the points. There is no c value, it's not pushed left or right, so I can assume that we start at 0. If you're not pushed left or right, you start at 0. So you can always assume that. Okay, so to get to the next value, I have to add the increment, which is 3 pi over 2. So I'm going to add 3 pi over 2 here, so I'm going to get 3 pi over 2. I'm going to add again the increment, which is 3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2 is going to be 6 pi over 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3 pi. And I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to add 3 pi over 2. That's going to be 9 pi over 2. Then I'm going to add, just to check myself, because I should end it, if we start at 0 and we're a width of 6 pi, we should end at 6 pi. Alright, then I'm going to add 3 pi over 2 to that. That's 12 over 2, which is indeed 6 pi. Okay, great, because really the table's the toughie spot. Now when you draw this, just scale it the best you can. So let's try this. So we already said it's up 1 is flipped over the x-axis, and it's horizontally stretched massively. Alright, so here we go. Let's see what we can do for this one. Alright, I'm looking at my x values, just trying to gauge what I want to do. My increment is basically, if I think of pi as 3, that's 3 times 3, which is 9, and 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So this is about equal to a 4.5, which means a 1 would be a little less than a quarter of that. Okay, so let me just gauge it at about there. Alright, so 3 pi over 2, then I'm going to be at here. I'm going to say that that is 3 pi, and then I'm going to be here. We're going to say that that's 9 pi over 2, and then I'm going to be here, which is 6 pi. Okay, so it's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's give it a go. So the first point is 0, 0. The next point is 3 pi over 2 and 1. The next point is 3 pi and 2. The next point is 9 pi over 2 and 1. The next point is 6 pi and 0. Okay. I'll add a little bit more on this if you want to see it. Next guy would be about here. The next guy would be about here. Let's see, this is the bottom, so then I have to go to the middle. Then I have to go to the top. Okay, so this is the bottom. Then I have to go to the middle, then to the top, and then back to the middle. Okay, and so on. So this graph again is pushed up, it's flipped, and it's stretched. And that's the graph of what we just did, which is your y equals to 1 minus cosine x over 3. Okay, gang. I don't know if you can hear the fire alarm in the background, but that's it for the videos for today. So I'm going to wish you a really happy Tuesday, and I will pick up again on Thursday with the next section, which will be 4.6, which will be the other trig functions. Okay, gang. Catch you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.